Yo, welcome back to another episode of Shane's Take. I'm your host, Shane Norman, and today we're going to be going over the NFC South and their preseason and how I'm ranking them going into the season as far as where I see them falling in the standings. Way too early predictions. So just to get into it, I'm going to start with the Atlanta Falcons because that was the team I feel like we saw the least of. Their defense was something that I was pretty high on. I'm not too sure if we saw the totality of like what they'll look like as a starting unit. But what I will say is that I wasn't impressed, but I do think they'll be a competent defensive group. And, you know, the first thing you got to speak about when you speak about the Falcons right now is Bijan Robinson and what he was looking like. And to be honest, he looked like a back he's gonna be a top 10 back in this league for a while. He showed flashes. He showed everything he was supposed to show in the little clips we got. So he looked really good. Desmond Ridder actually looked better than what I anticipated him looking like, but I would like to see a higher efficiency rate in the red zone. It was just some plays he missed on. I saw him scramble out of the pocket, and he was basically right there to run it in, but he could have easily flicked the ball up, and he had two receivers open over there in the corner. But that's here nor there. I do see them as a competent team, but I think they're about a year or two out from being really competitive in the NFC. But all in all, I'm impressed, especially considering we didn't get to see what I feel like Atlanta was hiding a lot because I didn't see any Cordell Patterson. But my biggest concern about the Falcons is their linebacking group. I don't know who's on that second tier of the defense behind the line. I really don't know who's that linebacker, and I didn't see anybody that impressed me either. Also, I saw A.J. Terrell give up some passes or some receptions that I didn't expect to see him give up. So after watching their preseason performance, all in all, not as high on them as I was, but I see them being they could be a third place team, but there's a part of me that feels like they'll finish last in the division. But we'll get there. So to move on from them, I'll go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay looks like a team that they could be really good if Baker Mayfield performs. If Baker Mayfield can give you a performance like he did his sophomore season in Cleveland, just a competent one, you know, because he has the receivers, he has the nucleus around him for that team to be competitive, even to win the division. But I don't have the faith in Baker Mayfield. I just simply don't. But when you're throwing to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and those guys, man, it makes the quarterback's job a lot easier. So, but all in all, I wasn't excited about anything I saw in particular from them. I think the defense will definitely be good considering who they have on that defense, but they're still the same team that they were before Tom Brady came, for the most part. So it's really all about the quarterback position over there. What can he produce or not produce? But like I said, it's Baker Mayfield, so you never know what you'll get. But I'm interested to see how they pan out. They're one of them teams that they could be the worst team in the division, or like third, or they could be going into the playoffs as winning the division and hosting. So that's something that I got my eye on, and I'll give my prediction as to where they'll actually land at the end of the video. But to move on from them, I'll go ahead and we can talk about the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young showed me the ability to efficiently move the ball down the field. He had some throws I'm sure he wished he could have had back. But all in all, I wasn't I wasn't shocked by what I saw. One of the main things I wanted to see was, like, can he take a hit, in that pocket from, will he still deliver the ball? And he did. He is an SEC quarterback, so that wasn't something that I was concerned about, but that was something that people were wanting to see, as far as him standing in the pocket and delivering passes. But I thought he looked fairly good, but I wouldn't be shocked if he struggles this year, considering how bad that offensive line is. And now, as far as their defense is concerned, I'm excited to see what it looks like when all the starters are on the field at one time. I know Brian Burns didn't play, which is he's a difference maker. But as far as the secondary with J.C. Horn and Jeremy Chin and Von Bell, and Von Bell made his presence known immediately. So I'm excited to see what that defense looks like. Shaq Thompson, you got Deion Jones as a backup at linebacker. So they're cooking with something over there. Adam Thielen made some plays. He looked relatively healthy, but I know he took a pretty hard shot, I believe, in I forget which week, but he took a shot, and it was above the shoulders. So that's a little concerning there. I didn't really get to see Miles Sanders tote the rock at all. I saw they put him in the game, but they just used him for play action purposes. I didn't see any of his carries, but I didn't see Chuba Hubbard really do anything. So, but I do like how Hayden Hurst has been fitting in over there. But all in all, I see Carolina being between. They're one of them. They're a team in the division that, to me, it really depends on how they click offensively. But I could see them finishing. I could see them competing and jockeying for position for the top of the standings in the NFC South. Now, for the final team, I would like to talk about. Well, I don't have a choice, do I? But the New Orleans Saints. I wanted to see what Derek Carr looked like, and Michael Thomas as well. I know Alvin Kamara, the last time I made a video, it was a lot of speculation on how much time he was going to miss. Turns out it's only 3 games, which is big. I'd have to look at their schedule to see who they're playing, but they'll be okay. They could survive 3 games, I believe. I like the way their offense looks, though. They look sharp. Michael Thomas, I would like to see how he looks. I know it's going to take him a while to get his feet back under him, and I'm also not expecting Michael Thomas of late. But you do have Chris Olave. They do have weapons over there to where they can sustain. But the defense is really the main thing about them that makes them, honestly, easily 1 or 2 in this division. Just because it's a veteran defense that's not missing on any level of it, from the safety down to the tackle. They got studs everywhere between Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Marcus Lattimore, Tyrann Mathieu. So super excited to see what they look like. But with that being said, I definitely think that the New Orleans Saints, as of right now, they look like they'll be number 1 in the division. Then I'll say I'm gonna go on a limb here and say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finished 2nd, and that's just because of the veteran starters on their offense as well as their defense. It is a championship style. It is a championship defense as well as their offense. I mean, you can't ignore the fact that they have some stud wide receivers over there, and outside of the quarterback, it's not a whole lot of questions on that team. Well, of course, the corner, but all in all, they look like they should be solid. Then I have the Carolina Panthers. I see them finishing 3rd, just because I just feel like they're more invested in winning right now. and I like their defense slightly more for the simple fact that I like their linebacking room. I also like what they give off the edge. And I have Atlanta finishing last for the simple fact that, honestly, I'm under the impression that this might be a rebuild year. Not a rebuild year, but this might be a year where they don't go all out on winning. They're also, outside of Drake London, they don't really have a lot to offer at the wide receiver position. That and Arthur Blank did come out and say, hey, give us about 2-3 more years, which I understand completely. They still got some position groups to address. I know they're kind of weak at DN. They went and got Calais Campbell, but they would. There's some more I would like to see them do. I didn't get to see any Jeff Okudah, so I'm giving this standings ranking. I'm ranking them so low because I didn't really get to see much of them out of the preseason, and then the difference maker to me was Desmond Ridder not putting the ball in the end zone, in the red zone. I didn't like how that looked. I also didn't really like the play calling, but that's here nor there. But yeah, that's my take on the NFC South, man. Next episode, we'll be covering the NFC North.